this is probably the last Titanfall video I'm going to do. I'm debating on whether to do a tier list on the pilot tacticals like phase shift, grapple, so on and so forth. Holy
Hello, so I didn't expect my Titanfall Titan ranking video to do as well as it did. It got quite a bit of views, at least from my perspective. You know, from the videos I've been doing, I've only been getting like 30 views max, and this video got like 150 views as of recording this, and that's huge for me. It got a few likes, and I even got a few subscribers, so thank you guys to those of you who subscribed. That's awesome, thank you so much. But I do want to address some things about that video. The first thing I want to address is someone did point out about the Titan kits, and I want to say to that, I completely disregarded the Titan kits in my ranking. Not intentionally, I actually just straight up forgot about the Titan kits. So yeah, I just want to say to that the Titan kits can make a small difference in the effectiveness of the Titan that you're using, but I don't think it makes a big enough difference for it to kind of move any of the Titans on my list. And also, a few people disagreed with my stance on Ronin's sword core. I absolutely see what these people are saying with, you know, the sword core being powerful and everything, and I do kind of agree with that, but I still have my stance that I don't think the sword core is personally that great, only because it's very a volatile core. If you know how to use it really well, then you can do really well with it. If you don't really know how to use it that well, then you're gonna suffer from it. It's actually gonna be a detriment. And I guess I'm just not a really good Ronin player, and I just kind of suck with using the sword cores. So personally, my views on the sword core is that it's not that great. But I'm open to disagreements, and I see why these people disagree. Another thing I want to talk about real quick is I understand my mic isn't really that great. You can kind of hear like my breathing when I do like here. It's like sometimes you can kind of hear that, but when I'm talking, and I understand it can be a bit annoying, and the audio quality itself really isn't that great. So I'm hoping to buy a new mic, like an actual mic, hopefully within a month-ish. You know, I'm gonna get my Christmas shopping out of the way, and then see how much money I have left to buy a mic. I'm also planning on buying a few components to my computer, so I really have to see how the money plays out. But a mic is kind of high up on my priorities of things to get, so I hopefully will be getting that within a decent amount of time. Last thing I want to talk about is future videos. Right now I have a video in the works. It's Apex versus Fortnite. Just comparing the two games for, you know, dumb fun. I'm not trying to say that one game is absolutely better than the other, and if you play that game then your opinion sucks or whatever. That's not what I'm trying to say. I just like to compare things that I like for, you know, dumb fun. I have a poll up for that video basically asking, you know, which one's better, Apex or Fortnite. So if you don't mind, can you go vote on that poll? That'd be awesome. I'm going to use that data for the video. I'm also planning on doing more Titanfall videos, but I'm kind of low on ideas. So if anyone has any ideas for any Titanfall videos, please let me know in the comments. But as of right now, definitely kind of in gear with Apex more, because I just got cross progression, meaning I can record Apex on my PC, you know, with all my progress and everything. And I definitely want to start doing things like ranking the legends, the guns, the maps, all that type of stuff. It's just basically like endless content. And I love Apex. I could talk about Apex, you know, for days. But I also love Titanfall, but I'm kind of running low on ideas on what type of content to do for Titanfall. So if you guys have any ideas, please let me know. Other than that, video starts now. Okay, so starting with AWOL. AWOL is a tricky one to rank because he can be both very good and very bad, if that makes any sense. I think his shield itself is a good ability, being able to shoot out of it and take down any pilot, really, and pretty much a pilot not being able to shoot back at you, at least not without having that shield to soak up all that damage, is extremely powerful, extremely useful in very niche situations. In fact, not even in very niche situations, in very casual situations, in a lot of situations. But the problem with that is the shield is pretty much the only ability on this list that is anti-movement. It's you put down the shield, you have to stay behind it if you want to use it to its full capabilities. That's why there's this kind of stereotype that AWOL players kind of just find a spot high up on the map, throw down their wall, and just kind of camp with the Spitfire. Personally, I think a lot of people like to play aggressive in Titanfall 2 because, you know, that's kind of how the game is. It's very aggressive, you know, run around, run on the walls, take out as many people as you can type of game. And AWOL I just don't think fits with the style of the game, but it doesn't go to say that he's bad per se. It's more of like he doesn't really fit well with the game. At the same time, that shield is pretty good, so it's hard to rank him. I think he's between B and A tier. I'm thinking B tier, but realistically, he's just so good. I have to kind of put him in A tier. I know people are gonna disagree, but if you know how to use him, he can be really good. If you're not too aggressive with them, he can be really good. Obviously, if there's an enemy player that's really aggressive, that's gonna kind of be the end of an AWOL because someone can get behind there. But other than that, you know, you're shooting at an AWOL and he throws down that shield, you're kind of toast, right? Moving on to Cloak. Cloak is the first pilot I ran when I first started playing the multiplayer in Titanfall 2, and I very quickly realized he's not very good because he is very visible still, even when he turns his cloak on, to other pilots. It's very easy to see him, and sure, in very niche and fast-paced situations, sure, you may be able to blend into your surroundings and a pilot doesn't see you, and you get a very like nutty kill. And he is completely invisible to Titans, but let's be honest, in Titanfall 2, when you're playing as a pilot, your main goal and your main focus is mostly on other pilots. I mean, sure, you are focused on other Titans, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't run Cloak just so that you can have an advantage over other enemy Titans. I mean, you might as well just go after other enemy pilots to get your Titan to fight the other enemy Titan, if that makes any sense. So I think, with all that being said, I'm going to give him a lower rating. It's between C and D tier. I wouldn't say, you know, Cloak is bad. I don't think any of these tacticals are really bad, but it is definitely probably the worst of the bunch. Maybe even the second worst. I'm not sure. We'll get to that soon. So I'm gonna put Cloak right here. He can be good in niche situations. Yeah, he's in C tier. C for Cloak. I did not spell that right. How do you spell Cloak? Oh God. C-L-O-A-C. Okay. What? That's what I did. That's how I spelled it. C-L-O-A-O-A-K. Alright, there we go. Next, Grapple. So, if we look on the poll that I put up, Grapple did win the poll. And to be honest with you, I really do understand why people say that Grapple is the best ability. While I personally disagree from my use with the Grapple, I do have to acknowledge it is a very good ability. It's a movement ability. It's like the most generic of them all. Everyone is running Grapple. It's like the Apple of the pilot tacticals. Like, everyone has Grapple. Everyone talks about how good it is. And to be honest with you, I agree. I do think it's really good. I think there are maybe two better. I think there are maybe I think there's one better movement ability, and I'm sure you can guess what it is because it's only one more movement ability. But I have my reasons for thinking it's a little bit better in my usage of it. But I also think Grapple is really good. If you're running it, that's completely fine. If you're running it, I think that's great. You know, it's useful. Yeah. So S tier. All right, Holo-Pilot. So you know what? A lot of people clown on Holo-Pilot, and I'm gonna say I think it's one of the better abilities. I think it's one of the best abilities in this game. No, I'm joking. It's not. No. But I don't think it is as bad as people think it is. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna have to go back on that. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I'm really just gonna put it in the same tier as Cloak. I do think, to be honest with you, it's worse than Cloak. Now that I think about it even more, because honestly, no one's really falling for the decoys. Even if you do get somebody, you know, I don't know. I haven't really fooled anybody with any of the decoys, and if I did fool anyone, it was probably an enemy Titan. And in that case, it doesn't really matter because it doesn't really matter. I have been fooled maybe once or twice with a Holo-Pilot, but I don't really see a whole lot of Holo-Pilots running around. So that being said, I think he's a little worse than Cloak, because at least with Cloak, you're completely invisible to enemy Titans. With Holo-Pilot, it just kind of depends on whether people, you know, it's a really timing specific type of ability, and honestly, it's hard to fool people with this ability. You know, I mean, no one's gonna shoot at a player that's running into the wall, because it's obviously just gonna be a decoy, you know. So that being said, I feel like Holo-Pilot's the worst. It is fun when you do trick people, you know, and they're shooting at the wrong person. You turn around on them and it's me, you know, boo. But yeah, other than that, it's really not that great of an ability. Oh, do I think it's better than nothing? Yeah, but I really don't see a purpose in running it. Phase. So I've actually been maining Phase for a little while now. This is kind of my main tactical ability before this video, really. I really like Phase. I think Phase is a bit underrated, and I have a few reasons for that. Is because you have a get out of jail free card, essentially. I mean, if you play Apex Legends, this is a better Wraith tactical. It doesn't last as long, but it's much quicker. It's very, very useful, especially when you're ejecting from your Titan, because you'll notice when you eject from your Titan, a lot of the enemy Titans like to shoot at you, and to be honest with you, if you don't have a way out of it, they're gonna get you, right? With phase shift, you eject out of your Titan, and at the right moment, you have to time it right, but at the right moment, you can phase and you can hit the ground before, you know, the enemy Titan can even hit you, and you're safe. And that goes for pilots too. If a pilot's running at you and you know that they have you, if they're a better player than you, or they got the first few shots, you can phase right out of there and then, you know, go heal and, you know, kind of recollect yourself. One thing I have noticed though, playing phase, is I have noticed that the animation starts to activate, like my screen will turn gray, but then I'll still die. So sometimes it seems like you activated your phase shift when I guess it really didn't activate, or it didn't activate, you know, the animation started, but you didn't actually activate the ability, and that really can, you know, piss you off sometimes, because, you know, you think, oh, I phased and they still got me, but, you know, it's not the case. It's just the animation is a little ahead of, you know, the actual phase itself. With that being said, do I think it's S tier or do I think it's A tier? It's definitely not down here. So it's definitely S or A tier. I feel like it's definitely better than AWOL, but I don't know if it's better than Grapple. I mean, Grapple is a really good movement ability, and Phase Shift I think is definitely underrated, and I personally like to run it, even though I'm reconsidering switching that to another tactical as my main, and we'll get to that soon. I'm going to put it in S tier for now, right behind Grapple. I think it's underrated. I think it's really good if you know how to use it. Again, the only downside is the animation does kind of go a little bit before you actually go into phase, and it can be a little disheartening to think that you know, phase and then you still got shot. So, alright, Pulse Blade. That's kind of tricky to rank Pulse Blade. I think he's very map dependent. If it's a very closed map, you know, he can be very good. You know, you don't really want to play Pulse Blade in a very open, wide map, because, you know, what's the point? In a very closed map where there's lots of walls and you want to know what's going on around you, this is very, very good. I also feel like Pulse Blade is like the coolest of them all. I don't know. I feel cool when playing him. He just feels cool. All right. But other than that, I feel like he's also kind of niche in a way. It's you have to think you hear enemies near you. You have to get convenient with them running into you. And you have to at least look in the general direction of where the sonar is kind of, you know, showing the enemies. Also, something you can do that I personally haven't done yet is you can like hit somebody with the Pulse Blade for an instant kill. That seems really, really cool, but I haven't done it yet, sadly, because, you know, I'm not that skilled of a player, I guess. And I haven't played him for that long. I mean, I played him long enough to get a grasp on where I think he lands in this list. But other than that, I really haven't played him that much. I think he's underrated. He's between B and A tier. And if, you know, if I had to pick, I'm thinking about this. If I had to pick Pulse Blade or AWOL, I'm picking Pulse Blade. So I'm going to put him higher than AWOL. Yeah, I think that seems about right. Alright, last but definitely not least, Stim. Not a lot of people are playing Stim, and I really don't know why. I think Stim is really, really good. In my time in playing Stim, I think I've had the best matches in my entire, like, Titanfall playing career than any of the other abilities. I think Stim is the better movement ability than Grapple, so as you can guess, that's an immediate S tier, top of S tier actually. I think this is the most underrated tactical ability. I think the ability to just move really, really fast throws off your enemies so much because it throws off their aim. They don't know what to expect. I think they're used to grapples, right? They're used to how the grapple moves, and sure, you're moving faster when you grapple, but I'm pretty sure people kind of have an idea of how that movement works and is able to kind of counter that with their aim. People aren't used to other players stimming around, and I've noticed so much from stimming kind of directly toward a person and just kind of sliding behind them and then turning around faster than they can, and I got like a drop on them. I just realized how much people don't account for a Stim player and how much it kind of throws them off, you know. And honestly, I think Stim is really fun too. Funner than Grapple, probably not, but honestly, I think he just feels so natural in this game. Like when you hit the Stim ability, I don't know what it is, but it just feels right. Like it feels like this is the perfect ability for this type of game, and I think it's underrated. I don't think a lot of people are talking about this ability enough. So with that being said, I don't really have much more to say. Thank you guys for watching the video. Bye.